You all have heard of Stephen Covey. Some of you probably even know Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey is most famous for his 7 habits of highly effective people. That is no secret. But the secret was there's an 8th habit. Now, this morning, some of you were here when Henry told you about the 9 ways to write a book. But I'm here to tell you the secret. There's a 10th way to write a book. And that is through article placements. Articles are a great way to write a book and to get publicity at the same time. Because see, you can take the articles that you've written and then compile them into a book. By placing articles in trade, industry, and association magazines, not only can you then take, after you've written 5, 6, 7, 8 articles, compile them into the chapters of the book, but then you can take all these articles that you've placed in trade, industry, and association magazines to a publisher or a book agent and say, look, this book is pre-sold. This book has a built-in audience. I know that this book is going to be bought because I've already have this book that's been read by hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of owners, executives, entrepreneurs, C-suite level executives that are reading their trade, industry, and association magazines, because here's all the magazines that excerpts of the book have already been placed in. So that's one secret for savvy authors, is to write your book by placing articles in trade, industry, and association magazines. Now, another one is not to do too much publicity. That may seem odd for a publicist to say not to do too much publicity, but it's one thing that we've learned over our 25 years. Devin said, we have a 25-year track record of getting 100% of our clients' placements. Now, if I can, I'll tell you a little story about that. There's 2 instances in our agency history where we haven't been able to get all of our articles placements. Pardon me. Could I have a bottle of water, please? Thank you. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I got a Mark Ruby over this here. Could you? Thank you. It's, I'm glad Devin said it correctly, because I've got to be very careful about it. The way I say it, I've got to be careful and say that we get 100% of our clients' placements, because I can't say that we get 100% of our articles' placements. In our agency history, we've had 2 articles that we couldn't get any placements for. We pitch out articles. We don't just blast them anywhere and everywhere. We actively tease out the benefit of the placements to the editors for their readership, and only when the editor says, yes, this is applicable to our audience, yes, our readership can benefit from this, then we send them the text of the article. That way we know who's got it and when they're going to place it, and we can track it and do the follow-up for our clients. So we had this article on taking sabbaticals. And we pitch out the article, and we get normally we get yeses and an occasional no, but we get mostly yeses. So we had this article on taking sabbaticals, and we were getting no after no after no from editors. And finally we started asking, but why? And we started hearing from the editors that they were afraid if they ran an article on taking sabbaticals and everybody started taking sabbaticals, the employers would get mad at the magazine for telling them how to take a sabbatical, that they'd cancel their subscription, they'd cancel their advertising, and it would hurt the magazine. So we pulled back the article, reworked it on avoiding burnout, then repitched the article out, making one of the bullet points in the article taking a sabbatical, pitched it out and got placements again. Now, the way we pitch out an article on a non-exclusive basis so that we can place it a dozen times or more all across the country, we did get the average of 14 or more placements all across the country. You know, the Bar Association in Boston doesn't care if the Realtors Association in California uses the same magazine. So we finally did get, you know, a dozen or more placements. The second article that we could get no placements for, but fortunately we did get placements for the client, was an article on, it was a client who just thought his words were gifts from God. He, you know, the first article, he sent us his first article, and we had some suggested changes for him, and he didn't like any of them, but we got him to make a couple of them. His second article, he dug his teeth into it even tighter, but we got him to make a couple, and we got a few placements for him. His third article, he said, nope, no changes. We told him that we probably weren't the right agency for him, and we should probably no longer work together, and that probably prompted him to say, nope, no changes. And so his third article got no placements whatsoever, but fortunately his first two articles did get placements. So we can say we've gotten 100% of our clients' placements, but we can't say we've gotten 100% of our articles' placements. But anyways, sorry, I digress. Back to not too much publicity. Most editors work on a 60 to 90 day publishing calendar. You know, so right now we're starting the month of March, so they are already working on their May and June issue. So when we pitch out an article, we pitch them out every 8 weeks. So if an article we're pitching out in March, we would expect online placements right now, but we wouldn't expect it to appear in print until May or June, which is why we wouldn't go to the editors with the next article until May. Because what we found over the years is if we went to them in March with an article and they say, hey, I like that article, that's great, send it to me, but then we'd expect it to appear in May or June. But then say we go to them in April with another article, they may say, hey, I like this article better. Let's dump the March article, put this article in its place, then we've lost the March article. It'll never see the light of day again because they rejected it, and they're going to publish the April article. But if we go to them with an article in March and they run it in May, and then we go to them with another article in May, we can get it run in July. And then we've gotten both articles run instead of one or the other. So another secret to savvy authors is actually don't go for too much publicity too often, spread it out, and you'll actually get a little bit more. And then another point, of course, is most authors don't like this point, put yourself last. You want to solve the reader's problems first. I hear this time and time again from editors. Your mother may love you, but the media just doesn't care. What the editor cares about is solving the reader's problems. Your book may be wonderful, but the media doesn't care. Solve their problems, ease their pain, and then they'll publish your press release. Then they'll write about your book. When we send out a press release, I sometimes don't even mention the author's name until the third paragraph. The first paragraph is usually about the issue. It's usually about the problem. And then the second paragraph is how that book solves the problem. I give 3 to 5 bullet points about, concise sentences, how that problem is going to get solved. And then the third paragraph is who the author is and what qualifies them to solve that problem. Because the editor wants to know what's going to get the reader's attention, how that editor is going to look good in front of the reader, how that reader's problem is going to get solved, and then they care about your credentials as an author. So another secret is to put yourself last. Know your audience. I hear it time and time again from a potential client when I'm talking to a young new author. Oh, my book is for everybody. Everybody can benefit from my book. Kiss of death. I'm sorry. As soon as you say everybody, that means nobody is going to read your book. So know who your audience is. That means you don't, that doesn't mean you exclude audiences, but know who the low-hanging fruit is. Know who you're going to go after first. So know who your audience is. One of the easiest ways to get publicity. This is the best way to do it. Go online and just simply Google the subject of your book and look for National Day of, National Week of, National. This is something I do almost every year at the beginning of the year. The second Friday in January is National Quit Your Resolution Friday, National Quit Your Resolution Day. And I always send out a marketing email that day too. Yeah, some of you may have gotten it. I send out a marketing email that day. I say, National Quit Your Resolution Day. I always send out a marketing email that says, PRPR wants you to quit too. Quit waiting and call us. It's just, it's something simple. We had a client one time who his whole shtick was being a pirate. He dressed like a pirate. And there's a National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So we send out a press release for National Talk Like a Pirate Day. Whatever your topic is, I guarantee you there is a national blank day, blank week, blank month. Google it, send it to your local television station, your local radio stations. Tell them how you're the authority on it. Give them 3 to 5 bullet points that you can talk about. You never know. It might be a slow news day. Might not be. We had a situation in Orlando one time, got a whole media event set up. And unfortunately, in Orlando, you may remember a couple of years ago, we had a case with a mother and her little baby. And the day that we had our news event set up was the day they found little Kaylee Anthony's body. And so obviously it was not a good news day for us. So anyways, those are some secrets for some savvy authors.